Alright, so today I'm gonna be doing part number 2 of 30 Must Know Nephrology Vocabulary Terms. I'm gonna be adding terms 12 through 22 of that list. And just to let you know, this 30 vocabulary terms are a list of words that have a very high probability to be included in any of your nephrology sessions.
Tune in as Interpret Your World's co-founder, Juan Prieto, talks about the highlights of his workday as a professional medical video remote interpreter. If you are aspiring to learn something new and gain insights into what the world of medical interpretation is really like, then you've come to the right place. Follow along as Juan talks not only about his success, but the daily challenges he has to overcome to become a better interpreter each and every day. This is Unwind Sessions with Juan Prieto.
So hello everyone and welcome back to Unwind Sessions. Today is Monday, September 6, 2021. Today I took a total of 17 sessions. Why so little, you ask? Well, because today was a holiday, so for the most part I was just chilling. That is almost like half of my workload, right? 17, I'm usually taking between 28 to 32. So today was very chill. I did not have any audio sessions today. They were all video, but I was getting a call once every half an hour, so I was happy and I was just chilling today. I know tomorrow we're gonna be back to back, but it's always nice, you know, to get a little break whenever there's a holiday. Plus I get paid, so it's all good. I do the same work for the same pay. Sign me up, right? Give me all them holiday days and I will gladly sit here working, just working half of my regular shift, right? What's going on? Why are you popping out? All right. So yeah, that was my day today. Since there were so little calls, there wasn't really any highlights, nothing worth mentioning. Everything was pretty easy. So I'm just gonna, before I get right to it, remember that you still have a chance to comment on MIP 21. We're waiting for that video to reach 100 likes. Once that video reaches 100 likes, everyone that has placed a comment on there has a chance to win. We're gonna pick 2 random comments. The people who those comments belong to are gonna get exclusive links to MIP 22. We're gonna give them a chance to record their interpretation, send them over to us, and we will provide them with feedback. So this is very good because this is going to be, your guys are gonna be like our guinea pigs. That's gonna be like the first step into a whole new project that we have going on. So expect great things and expect that to be the beginning of very great things. So let's do it, guys. Let's get those comments on there. Let's share that video and let's get it to 100 likes. That way we can get that ball rolling and we can get 2 very lucky viewers their feedback, right? We know how hard it is to get feedback in this industry, so we're throwing you guys the ball. You guys want to play? That's what I thought. Yeah, let's play. I play to win, right? Okay, and before I get started with the video today, I learned something which caught my attention. So it turns out that in the 1900s, doctors were treating patients that had syphilis. You know syphilis, the STD? Patients that had syphilis were treated with malaria. That's right. So the doctor would get a patient with syphilis and would inject that patient with malaria. And this was way before antibiotics were discovered, because syphilis is a bacteria. So syphilis can be treated with antibiotics. And so back then there were no antibiotics. So what the doctor did was inject the patient with bacteria, and well, not with bacteria, with malaria, which is a parasite. I don't know exactly how it works. I tried looking it up, but I was too lazy to read. Sorry, guys. So if you're interested, it's malaria. But I did read the story though, not how it works, but just what kind of like what it does, right? So malaria apparently gives very, very bad fever, and the person that is infected with malaria, their fever spikes so high. And if they're also infected with syphilis bacteria is not able to take the heat. Literally, they'll just die. So then what the doctors did was inject the patient with malaria, spike a fever, kill the syphilis bacteria, and then once the patient was rid of syphilis, he only had malaria, then they just treated malaria, which they could treat at that time. So isn't that amazing? I just read that and I was like, whoa, I gotta share this with these guys. And as a matter of fact, that doctor went on, I think in 1927, to win the Nobel Prize for his great discovery. And that is awesome. I just saw it and I just automatically say I gotta share this with these guys because it's medically related, right? So imagine like going to your doctor and it's like, oh yeah, so you got syphilis, we're gonna have to inject you with malaria, and then once you are already in agonizing pain and free from syphilis, then we're just gonna fix you up because we have the cure for malaria. Not syphilis though, but you'll be cured in no time. And that kind of reminds me, it sounds like a bad movie plot, right? Or like that movie plot where, oh, we need to send you to this city because there's this group that's causing havoc on the city, like Suicide Squad, right? They send the Suicide Squad to kill everyone, but in the end they want to kill them. So it's just like a movie plot. We're gonna send the bad guys to kill the bad guys, and then we're just gonna kill the bad guys at the end. I just thought it was phenomenal. So that's all that I have to say. Hopefully that was a pretty enjoyable story. If not, well, I got good news for you because I'm already gonna get to that main dish, right? The main course of the evening, which is 10 more words to add to your nephrology vocabulary, right? Remember that this is part number 2. I have part number 1, which I will probably post up here and somewhere down there, so make sure to watch that and not miss it, and stay tuned for part number 3. Alright, I have to let you know that all of these definitions were obtained from carolinanephrology.com. You will find them there in that website, and it's glossary of terms is called, and it's a pretty good list, very extensive list, but very good definitions. All of the definitions were obtained from there. All of this list was obtained from there, so you know it's good if I'm using it, right? And that's all that I had to reference. So go reference and get your knowledge going for some nephrology glossary. Alright, I was going to say terms, but I've already said that word too much, so I just wanted to flip it up a little bit, you know, keep it fresh. Alright, so let's get started. To start this list, to head the top of the list, is number 12. This is diastolic pressure. In Spanish is presión diastólica, and this is the blood pressure between the heart beats. This is when the pressure is the lowest. So the diastolic is the top number. You know, you have a number on top and you have a number on bottom. So what happened? And it didn't make it. Ooh, it didn't make it. It didn't make it until tomorrow. Oh, yeah, until tomorrow's video, because systolic pressure, which I will let you know tomorrow, that is the top number. So systolic is top, diastolic is the bottom. So now you know. I've only heard this probably 3 times in my whole interpreting career, but looking up all that information, it really does help, and not just for nephrology, also for cardiology, and I think that's it, nephrology and cardiology. Not that you'll hear it a lot, not a lot of people are going to mention it, nurses or doctors, but it sure helps. If you look it up, look at all that information, it just broadens your spectrum. That way you will understand many things. That's why I decided to include that here. Not that it's gonna be on a nephrology session, it might be, but if you can read up on that, diastolic and systolic pressure, it'll give you very good insight and information on that on this profession, but on this specialty. There you go. All right, number 13 is diuretic, and in Spanish is diurético. So a diuretic is a type of medicine that helps your body get rid of extra fluid. Having too much fluid in your body can raise your blood pressure. Diuretics are sometimes called water pills. So definitely, if the heart or the kidneys are not working well, that is going to get fluid back into your body. It's not going to be ridding you of that fluid, right? So if that is happening and you still have some function, something needs to be done, right? That fluid cannot be there. So what the doctors opt for is a water pill, which is like Lasix, hydrochlorothiazide, I was gonna say Plavix, but I think Plavix is a blood thinner, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Plavix, coágulos sanguíneos. Yes, Plavix is actually a blood thinner. So I definitely know that. What did I say? Lasix and hydrochlorothiazide are two diuretics. They give them to people that are retaining fluids, and that is making their blood pressure go up. All right. So diuretic. You know what else is a diuretic? Green tea, pineapples, beer, everything that makes you pee a lot is definitely a diuretic. All right. Number 14, dry weight, peso seco. So dry weight is the ideal weight for a person after a hemodialysis treatment. The weight at which a person's blood pressure is normal and no swelling exists because all the fluid has been removed. Now, for people that have dialysis or for people that are retaining fluid, body weight is very important, and some of them have to measure their weight every day, and they have to see that they have not made some drastic increasements in weight, because if they do, that means they're retaining too much fluid and they need to be rushed to the hospital to get that fluid out. So one way that they do this is they take the dry weight and they have like a scale, like probably you cannot go up more than 2 pounds in a day or more than 6 pounds in a week, let's say, right? I'm just making those numbers up. They should be pretty similar, but don't quote me on that. I'm not a doctor. And so that is one of the things that they will suggest. Go ahead and weigh yourself every day. Weigh yourself after dialysis. Take that as your base and base your weights upon that. So that is something that is very important in patients that have dialysis in nephrology, but not necessarily nephrology, but patients with dialysis that go to nephrology. All right, number 13, number 15, edema. In Spanish is edema, and edema is swelling caused by too much fluid in the body. This could be the retaining of fluid because, like I said, kidneys or heart is not working, so the fluid is not getting out of the body correctly. And well, logically, if the body that you're putting into the body is staying in the body, what do you think is going to happen, right? The body's going to start to expand. So that swelling caused by this excess retention of fluid is called an edema. All right? Or it's called edema. Not an edema, but edema. Number 15. Ooh. What's going on? Why are my numbers flipped? Yeah, because 15 was edema. Number 16. I'm sorry. 16. Electrolytes. Electrolitos. Well, let me give you the definition and then I'm gonna tell you something. All right, chemicals in the body, fluids that result from the breakdown of salts, including sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chloride. The kidneys control the amount of electrolytes in the body. When the kidneys fail, electrolytes get out of balance, causing potentially serious health problems. Dialysis can correct this problem. So that's why this is what they check to see if a patient is dehydrated. They check the number of electrolytes, and if those numbers are whack, they might need to get him some IV fluids, which, by the way, IV fluids in Spanish can be translated como líquido intravenoso or suero, you know. And whenever they tell you suero, it can either be, depending on the type, if it's IV, suero can be IV fluids. If it is oral, they say suero, you say oral rehydration solution. That is one that I had to look up. Like, when I had it the first time they told me suero, I was like, oh my God, I don't even know how to say that in English. I was Gatorade, you know, Pedialyte, you know, but oral rehydration solution. I think that when I was faced with that problem, when they told me suero, I believe the first thing that came to mind was electrolytes, and that is how I interpreted it. But yes, it works. Is it perfect? No. Should you use it? I would say no, because I mean, suero, of course, has electrolytes, but it doesn't just have electrolytes. It has much more stuff than just electrolytes, because there is such thing as just an electrolyte bolus, or just well, just a bag, you know, full of electrolytes, and pure electrolytes to get you going. And yes, whenever the kidneys fail, electrolytes go whack, and dialysis can be the last hope. All right, oh man, I forgot. All right, let me just write this real quick. I forgot to put it in Spanish. Enfermedad renal en etapa terminal. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, I'm almost finished with my homework. I only have one weekend to go, but I'm gonna finish. So yeah, you can see my mood. Look, smiling, man. I hadn't been like this since the last week, but woo, I feel myself with an A or a B or whatever, as long as I pass, right? It doesn't matter. Hopefully an A. All right, so this is end-stage renal disease, and in Spanish is enfermedad renal en etapa terminal. Right there, you can see it. Can't really focus that well, but there you can see it. Oh, it looks like my eyes are like, I don't know. I saw one, I was looking like my eyes were splitting up. You know, like Pennywise. Have you guys seen that video where he says that he can actually do that? Like the man, that actor, he actually like, and it looks all creepy. Imagine if I could move one eye to the others. That'd be just too creepy. I would intentionally be doing it during all my videos to creep you guys out. I'd be like, look at my eyes. Alright. Okay, so moving on. Graft. Graft is injerto. All right, so in hemodialysis, a vascular access surgically created using a synthetic tube to connect an artery to a vein. In transplantation, a graft is a transplanted organ or tissue. So if we are talking about vascular surgery, our graft will always be a synthetic tube used to connect an artery to a vein, and it's the same injerto. But if it's a transplant, then a graft is the organ or the tissue. For example, you can have a skin graft for burn victims, right? That's when we're talking about transplantation. But if it's hemodialysis, remember that it's not a transplantation, it's an artificial synthetic tube that will connect an artery to a vein. All right, we all clear on that? Good. Number 19, hematocrit, and hematocrito in Spanish. Didn't I say that last week? Oh, I hope it was not last week. Ooh, I don't have last week here. Yes, I do. Hematocrit. I remember I given it to you. Hemodialysis. Yes, no, I did not have hematocrit. Alright, so you guys are gonna get to know what a hematocrit is. If I can find it. Here we go. Hematocrit. So, an hematocrit is a measure that tells what portion of blood sample consists of red blood cells. Low hematocrit suggests anemia or massive blood loss. So that is one of the markers that they measure, the hematocrit, to see if they have anemia or massive blood loss. For example, how would they know that a person's insides are bleeding, right? His intestines? Well, he is going to poop out blood. His poop is going to be very black, tarry looking like. So, and how do they know if the thing has stopped, right? Because when they see this, they're not going to let the patient eat anymore because they want his intestine to rest, right? So he's bleeding from his intestines. He has no food going in. How are they going to determine if this person is still bleeding or the bleeding has ceased? Well, they're going to do a test. They're going to test him for hematocrit, and if that is low, then that means this patient needs an intervention for sure, that he needs something to stop the bleeding, right? So that is a very, very important test. And also for like bleeding for blood in the urine, but they could just test for blood in the urine. All right, number 20. Immunosuppressant, and this is immunosuppressor. All right, and this one is more, it has to do with nephrology because of kidney transplants, but it's also heart transplants, liver transplants. What else do they transplant? I don't know what other organs they transplant, but an immunosuppressant is the best friend of someone that has a organ transplant. So this is a drug given to suppress the natural responses of the body's immune system. Immunosuppressants are given to transplant patients to prevent organ rejection and to patients with autoimmune diseases like lupus. So lupus, I am not 100% sure on what it does, but I think it's an immune, if I'm not mistaken, is an autoimmune disease. So that means it's your body attacking itself. It thinks itself is the enemy, so it just automatically destroys it. So they give immunosuppressants for patients that have this to ease up their immune system and to keep their own immune system from obliterating itself, right? And of course, whenever there's a foreign body, like an organ, right, that is donated from one patient to the other, well, the body realizes that this organ no, it doesn't match, right? The DNA or the RNA, I'm not sure of what I'm talking about here, but I know that this is kind of sort of correct, right? So the body sees this, and then it looks at all the cells, it checks them, right, scans them over, and it's like, oh, this does not have our DNA or RNA, we gotta kill it. So it just destroys it, right? Anything that has a foreign DNA or RNA, the body registers as an enemy, and it'll just destroy it. It'll be merciless and relentless, unless whatever thing is more relentless than itself, right? So whenever an organ is given to a patient, the body itself naturally will seek to destroy it, because that's something that doesn't belong there, right? Obviously, it was not there to begin with. So they have to give this person immunosuppressants. Sometimes they need to give it to them for life, like they need to take this drug for life, and they can get pretty expensive. But if the person misses a day, their body will just completely attack that organ. So that is an immunosuppressant is a very important term for any type of organ transplant. Number 21, interstitial nephritis. I'm sorry, nephritis. Interstitial nephritis, and here it is, nephritis interstitial. I don't know what's going on with that word, a little bit hard. I'm having trouble with that one. So this is inflammation of the kidney cells that are not part of the fluid collecting units, a condition that can lead to acute renal failure or chronic kidney disease. Before I say that, I just remembered, and I remember when I just got on camera, I had to let you guys know this. One time there was a nurse, and they were, well, she was just giving the initial interview, right? Not the triage, but the patient was already going to be treated, so the nurse was just there speaking to him. And one of the things that she has, she told the patient, "Do you have hepatitis?" And of course, when I heard that, I was like, oh my god, your pronunciation is totally wrong. Of course, it made me laugh. I don't remember if it was video or if it was audio. I completely forgot that. I just remember that the nurse said hepatitis. But can you imagine, like, me going to actually interpret it just like she pronounced it? Oiga, tiene hepatitas. Hepabubi. Yeah, I know, I'm very childish. I'm sorry, guys, but I just thought it was pretty funny. Hepatitis, right? Well, yeah, it doesn't work with this one, right? Because it's nephritis. So what is, I already told you, so this is the inflammation of the kidney cells that are not part of the fluid collecting unit. So the fluid collecting units, they swell up. The things that don't collect fluid shouldn't be swelling up. So if it swells up, you have interstitial nephritis, and or nephritis. Either way, tomatoes, nephritis. All right, and if they start to swell up, well, your kidneys are not gonna be working well, right? And what do you think is gonna happen? You're either gonna need a water pill, or if it's severe enough, you are going to need dialysis or a kidney transplant in the worst of cases, right? All right, and we have reached the end, and I'm gonna give you number 22. Number 22 is the kidney, a riñón in Spanish. And I have a story for this too. One time a lady was talking about her tiznes, and she was all Spanish speaking, but the word that she would say, tiznes. Now, tiznes, if you're a Spanish speaker, tizne is, let me look it up for you because I am not sure what tizne is, but it is definitely a word. Tizne, and it is not a word. Well, tizne to me is the I don't know, what is it, coal, like the coal dust, whenever you burn coal, like on the barbecue, that dark coal dust that remains, that is tizne. And if you put it on yourself, well, you get all covered in black dust, right? And that's tizne. So this lady was saying that her tizne hurt and stuff like that. So I was completely, I didn't even know what she was talking about. And of course, whenever I asked her, she her answer was like, "You don't know what tiznes are? I can't believe it." And what would I? But the doctor was the one that figured out it's kidneys. She's saying kidneys. I was like, "Oh, thank you, doctor." But yeah, tiznes, kidneys, and this person was speaking Spanish, so it was like, why don't you just say riñón, right? But anyways, what are kidneys? In case you don't know, this is one of two bean-shaped organs that filter waste from the blood. The kidneys are located near the middle of the back. They create urine, which is derived to the bladder through the tube called ureters, right? So nephrology is the study of kidneys in the circulatory system. So kidneys are a very, very important part of this system, and that's a word you have to know. I'm pretty sure you guys already know it, but I just wanted to include it here in case you don't, or in case you don't know the translation, now you do. So that is going to be pretty much it for me today, guys. I hope today's video was helpful. And please leave your questions in the comments and I will answer some of them on the next session. If anything is time sensitive, please let me know, that way I can get to it right before any of the other videos. Remember that I'll be here Monday through Friday after work. And also remember that we have a Patreon page where with as little as just $1 of your support, you help to motivate us and to create much more content. Remember that just with as little as just $1 you have access to all the medical practice videos, ad-free scripts, answer sheets, and much more content, vocabulary list, and most importantly, you will forever win a place inside of our heart. Alright, so we love you, all of our Patreons. We love everyone that has bought us a coffee. We love all of our subscribers, all of our viewers, and you that is watching the end of this video. We love you too. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe the video if you have not done so, for much more content, and don't forget to share. Happy interpreting. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Unwind Sessions. Make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. And if you learned something new today, it'd be great if you left us a review. You can also visit us on patreon.com/interpretyourworld or visit our website, interpretyourworld.com. Unwind Sessions.
If you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, share this video with other beginner interpreters or anyone who can benefit from this information. Box. Thanks for watching!